I'm very pleased today to welcome Andrew Jacobs. He's the Organisational Learning and Talent Manager at the London Borough of Lewisham and a frequent visitor to Learning Now Television. So Andrew, welcome back, I should say.
Thank you.
Welcome.
No, thank you for having me back.
It's good to see you. What we want to talk about today is, I think, a growing movement, which is forget about big budgets. How can you do things for small budgets? And don't let lack of budget be the thing that stops you doing stuff. Work your ways around. So do you agree with that for a kick-off?
Absolutely. I think the challenge for learning and development is we've always perceived as a cost centre.
Yes.
We cost the organisation money. And so what we want to do is to demonstrate we're getting the best value for our money. And that tends to lead us sometimes to spend money on things that maybe we don't need, but look great. And we think that that will give it a sheen and a value, which the organisation may appreciate more. Actually, maybe some of the stuff we need to do in learning is actually roll back from that and look and see what can we do for a nil or neutral cost first, and then spend our money more wisely.
Yes, so give me some examples. What can you do for nil or neutral cost?
I'm a big fan at the moment of podcasts.
Yeah.
You can subscribe people to particular podcasts and they will then get a range of information available for them to listen to for free.
Yes.
Nil cost. Really, really easy. I had a brilliant conversation with somebody recently from a small organisation where they went out and bought 3 Kindles. And what they did with those Kindles was then subscribe them through one single account to Amazon, and they bought some books, some business books. We're able to share the cost, and those Kindles now are available and used by a number of people within the organisation. They can constantly update them, and they're available for, again, relatively low cost across the organisation. Another organisation came to me and said, well, we wouldn't want to do that. I said, fine, so where's your local library? What's the books in your local library that you can ask them to bring in? What are the other books in other local libraries that they might be able to bring in on your behalf as well? That's nil cost, and that's an easy one that across the country organisations are able to use. Yeah,
so it's looking for partners. Like libraries are brilliant potential partners in all sorts of things, but particularly if you go in as a small organisation and say, will you help us with our learning? They're not going to say no, they're going to say, absolutely. Welcome, yes, of course. Absolutely. What can we do to help? And more libraries are able to actually distribute stuff electronically as well as physically in the form of books and whatever else they do. So yes, I think so. It's looking for those partners who can help, being a bit imaginative about how you get access to resources, and recognising that out there is a massive amount of stuff that is completely free, and just using it and using your intelligence to shape it, prepare it, curate it, if you like, for the organisation, and not pay someone to develop something from scratch.
Absolutely. I think I heard a brilliant phrase last year, which I've repeated many times. Content is king, context is kingdom. It's not just about spending lots of money on good content, it's about understanding how you can use it. And this is where working with partners and working with peers within your industry to understand how to apply and use the content to the best value is the most important. You wouldn't use that, that book example, in every circumstance. You wouldn't use an MP3 podcast example in every circumstance, but there are times when it will be appropriate. And what you need to do if you're an L&D function is step back and say, how can we help people more creatively, but within the context and the business context for that organisation, not within my context as a learning professional, that I think this is going to be best for you.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also just to search out the range of high quality resources. Like people still fall upon iTunes U and go, wow, I didn't realise that 700 universities have put material up there for free. There are MOOCs that you can point people towards. Yeah. So it's all about creating an L&D department which are out there to see what they can access for as little as possible and curate it and structure it and create an environment where people are willing and anxious to learn, but not to put them in front of big formal slabs of learning necessarily. Would you agree with that?
Entirely. What it also does is it takes away the essential need for the learning function to be the leader on this stuff.
Yes.
What happens is when people realise that this stuff's available for nil or neutral cost, they can seek it out themselves. And we all want learning organisations, we want people to be in control of their own learning. If they're doing that for themselves, they're going to come and do half of your job for you, because they will find out for themselves the stuff which has worked the best. And that has to be a win for learning.
Yeah, I quite agree. And I guess the other side of that coin is to look at user-generated content, to recognise that you have expertise in your organisation, and if you can encourage people to share, and they can share it on audio, or they could share it maybe on video, but to share it and distribute that, you have a whole new dimension, a new level of learning as the organisation recognises that it's probably more expert than it really thought it ever was.
Absolutely. Jane Hart talked about learning. We were the learning police. Let's switch that round. Let's assume everyone in your organisation is a subject matter expert. So everybody is an expert on a subject. How best can you tap into what that subject matter expert can do to help themselves in their performance, their peers around them, but more widely across the organisation? If you go in with that mindset and assume that everybody knows something as an expert, how can we tap into that? That's a much stronger approach to then people wanting to work in partnership with the learning function.
Yeah, I completely agree. So it is I think mindset is the critical word. So instead of saying we have to go out there and secure original content that we pay a lot of money for, or we pay a lot of money for technology that will deliver that content or comes with that content, you start from a completely opposite perspective, which is how can we help people to help themselves? How can we look around and see what is available to deliver rich resources, maybe in small chunks rather than great big huge chunks, and create an environment where everyone wants to learn, everyone is able to learn, and everyone feels empowered to create their own little learning environment, learning space.
Absolutely, I agree entirely. It's the world of learning isn't about the learning function. The world of learning should be the world of work, the Hammel-Jarkey stuff. So let's help people in their world of work with the learning that supports them. And if they're able to contribute to that, and they do contribute to that, they are going to want to buy, in inverted commas, more activity and content and support from you, because they will understand that you trust them. And if you trust them and they trust you, you would work much better together.
I think this is obvious. It strikes me as blindingly obvious. Why are we having to have this conversation? Why isn't that the norm? What do you think holds organisations back?
I think traditionally the learning function has always sat slightly outside. It's always been, is it a part of HR or is it part of somewhere else? And actually we are working parallel with as opposed to an integral part of. And the learning functions, from my experience, that have worked best have been an integral part of the business. They have worked to business objective, not learning objective. They have worked to identify how the function can support the business, not what they can do to sell stuff back into the business. And those functions will always be the more successful because they have an innate understanding of how the performance is required to work in the business, the pace, the cadence that the organisation works at, the heartbeat of the organisation, and they fundamentally understand how the organisation works strategically and culturally.
So it's about curation, it's about facilitation, but above all it's about understanding the organisation and its needs and trying to solve problems rather than bring in great big solutions which may not necessarily work, however shiny they may look.
It's as I've said before, shopkeepers, we don't need more shopkeepers, become an engineer.
Yes, become an engineer. A great message to finish on. Andrew, thanks very much for talking to me.
Thank you.